Welcome to this Zentangle Quickie. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today we're going to take a look at the Tangle Panepinto, I hope that's how you pronounce it, by CZT Lucy Farran. Okay, this is a neat border tangle. Starts off with, I'm going to make mine slightly curvy, a pair of orad lines. You, of course, can make them as, close as you might want to have them. And all right, then this one, well, let me just show. It's kind of a zigzag, is what I was trying to find the right words for. It's a zigzag, but of orbs, but only two sizes of orbs. So here's what I decided to do with mine. So in the center, I'm going to make a large orb, and I'm putting it on the line. Then keeping it. Actually, I could make it a little bit further away than this, but let's say, I don't know, a little more than halfway, if you need to have that kind of a figure. Okay, and then, so what would happen is we'd have a little orb here, and then an orb down here, making the zigzag. So what I'm going to do is I'm just putting, big orbs in like this, so I'm alternating them, top, bottom, and leaving a little bit of space in between. This was the best way that I figured out, at least for me, how to do it. I should have moved something, but that's okay. And let's see, over here we'll have a little bit of a partial one. Yeah, okay. So, kind of zigzaggy, all right? And then in between, so if you're picturing, okay, here's a zig, and we'll put a little orb in between. Oh, and here's the zag. And I encourage you to take a peek at the For More Inspiration link that I have in the description section. That takes you to Tangle Patterns. That's where I found this. And then you can see Lucy's artwork, which there's some really, really cool stuff there. So do take a look at that. But that way you can just see. This is my interpretation of how I will get it done. Because I believe on her step out, I don't have it right in front of me, she just drew the zigzag. I needed to step it out because, like, okay, how am I going to do this exactly? If I was to, like I said, do step by step. All right. But, here, if it works for you to go, oh, big orb, a little orb, to do it actually in a zigzag, then go right ahead. And I share this because we all work differently, and one way doesn't always work for everybody. So I like to share multiple ways and at least highlight, this is for me. So, I think that works. All right. Then the next step is we're going to do like a flux shape. So looking at where these tuck in, okay, so the ones, whichever way it's facing you, so pick an orb that's on the bottom line. So right here, and going about halfway to this center orb, we're going to make a big, nice kind of flux type shape. And then the same thing on the opposite side. That's why we kind of go halfway, because we're going to have these guys meet in the middle like that. And so for every, in every section like that, they're going to do the same thing. And then here, let's see, we'll pretend it's coming up like this, since that's a little partial one. And let me say this. Placement of these little orbs, like, so I think that like these little orbs maybe could have been a little bit bigger, or this be a little bit smaller, just to have the flux shape fit in nicer. So it's just something to think about, and you have to play with it in order to find these kind of things. It's like, oh, well, next time I do this, I'm going to do X. Because really what's nice is if I can make this flux shape and I touch this orb, and touch this orb. That would be ideal. But because we don't, generally speaking, plan things out. That's part of the Zentangle method. Not planning, just doing. And you know what? It's fun to do it that way, because then it's like, oh, then you have all these other opportunities for, oh, well, what will I do here? What will I do there? How do I want to decorate this? And because this is now the decorating stage, because this is essentially it. Now let me do, yes. Oh, let's see. No, wait. Which way do I want to go? Okay. Because I have a couple samples on my step out. Okay, first things first. When I do flux, I have to do the line dot dot, and that's just me. You could do just a line like that, or I've seen, actually I have done, where you do a line and then put a little orb, at the top, or instead of these dots, to put little orbs. That is really cute to do. Let's see, in this one, maybe I can fit. Sort of. Okay. And then, so here's what I was debating on. Do I want to use, no, we're going to fill in with black. One of my step outs, I filled it in with gray, and that's kind of a neat background. When we fill in all of these little pieces, it's nice because, number one, you can course correct. So if you need to adjust the size of something, and in this case it would have to be in making something smaller than, because of the nature of how we're decorating. Like, for instance, I can't make this bigger. It wouldn't work. I could like, if I had an odd shape, say my orb went like this, and let's neaten that up, then I would just shave a little bit off of that with the pen, and that would be my course correction. It's just such a nice thing. And a lot of times, depending on how the tangling goes, that will determine kind of what I end up doing next. So it's like, well, where do I need to course correct? That's usually the first thought. And then it's like, and then how will I fix that? Can it be fixed with shading? Do I need to fill it in? Will it just be, a lot? And I wait till the end, because sometimes things that happen end up being just fine, or you can't even find them again, because depending on the pattern, once it's all done, it gets lost in the pattern. And that's kind of really the primo course correction, when you don't have to do anything. It just gets lost in there. And you can see how this is nicely popping once the background is filled in. And then while I'm doing this, usually I'm thinking about, well, what else do I want to do? Because it's a nice, buying of time, so to speak. But then too, because you're focused in on nicely filling in, you can kind of also, be looking at and thinking about, okay, well, how do I want to shade? And here I'm going to do a little course correct right here, because that was a bit squared. We can round it a little bit. But yeah, thinking about, well, let's see, what shall we do with these big orbs? And a lot of times, especially when I'm filling in and I have a lot of these little tight areas, I will just stick with my 01, because you don't want to make a bigger mess by using a big nib and going fast. But that looks really neat as it is. Okay, here's one thing that actually I got from Lucy's step out, and I thought it was so cute. And I did one really small. So in these orbs, I'm just putting a little a little orb in the center, and then I'm splitting it in half, then in half again, then in half again, and this is where, oh, and I think it was Jen. Jen, if you are watching, this is where I would pull out my 005, and actually I did on my step out because, well, and actually I might even on this. All right, so just dividing these and then subdividing. You could go one further if you wanted to, and again, this is where the having an 00, oh, I didn't finish these. I better do that. Having the 001, just the smaller nib helps. But there are a host of ways that you could have fun with, oh, let's see. Okay, and here I have to figure out, okay, let's do here, and let's do here, and that's it. Ow. And I just stab myself with the pen, not looking at where the cap, where I was putting it in. Okay, so this is the 005. It's just, it's a little bit smaller, but what I'm doing here is just adding some rounding. Well, okay, that's a deep rounding, golly. And if it happens, you just go with it, and I'm trying to do it so I'm not cutting in too much to the design, except for right here. But that's okay, because we have the black background, right? It'll all flow together and look fine. Only we know. All of what happens here. And that's what's so neat about Zentangle in general is, people see the final product and they go, oh, that's so neat. Oh, I could never do that. And you really have to, help people and show them one step at a time. Yes, you can. Yes, you can indeed. All right, so we'll just do, I might hit pause, or I'll finish these when I'm done. But the rounding is just, I'm almost making a little triangle because sometimes when it's really small, it's hard to make it curve where you're rounding it off. And, oh heck, I could be making it too hard too, because I certainly could just, well, I can go out into the black that's already there. Oh, sometimes you just need to get a magnifying glass. And then, I can come back and I can round up those edges like so, just kind of tracing over a little bit. It's kind of the same idea as, the course correcting when we're filling in. But you get the idea. You get the idea. I'm going to finish filling those in before I post. And then, let's do some shading on this flux. We'll do some, let's just see what it looks like going up one side, because I'm picturing that maybe we do it on both. Oh, let's see. I get that. Oh, I guess it's not going to matter too much. I like to do like this, where I put the tip on the graphite, where where I don't want to go over, and then bring it in, versus reaching over like this. And all right, let's see how that. Oh, see, that looks kind of neat. But I'm just going to use what's left on the tortillon and just put a little bit of graphite on these ends. Oh, yep. And so that makes them kind of curve a little bit, and that's so much fun. All right. Yeah, and you know what? These are just calling to have that little thing filled in there. Yeah. Neat. Tons of ways that you could, if you want to, have fun with this tangle, with shading and decorating. You could do all kinds of things as far as the decorating goes. I am showing just but one way. And again, take a look at the For More Inspiration link for more ideas. And with that, in the description section, you will find that, as I mentioned. Also, if you are interested in taking any online classes, having fun tangling with a group of crazy tanglers, we would love to have you join us. The more, the merrier. And the information is on my website. Just find the link in the menu that's kind of at the top of the page that says classes/sessions. Also, yeah, that's it for that. If you enjoyed the video, would love to have a thumbs up or a like. Feel free to share it with your friends. And if you liked it enough to see more, I would love it if you were to become a subscriber to the channel. Of course, subscribing to the channel is free. And yeah, with that, thanks so much for watching. As I'm just about done with this, well, I'm going to finish it up when I'm officially done. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And again, I hope you enjoyed it. And most importantly, I wish you happy tangling.